I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh my goodness, one night removed from Backlash and the greatest wrestling match ever. You know, this is the greatest show. Monday Night Raw comes to you live from the Performance Center, and we're talking about all that. We're talking about Backlash, the matches, some of our tag team match players, action, all that stuff. We're doing it. We're talking about it. Thank you so much for being a part of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling and Sports. My name is Flobo Boyce, and I'm so glad I am on your second screen. But I am joined by two of the elite. Can we say elite on Monday nights? We don't even know about that. But first, she is known as La Profesora. Give it up for Leslie Colon.
Hola, hola. How is everyone doing? I'm so excited to be back, joined by these guys. There's apparently a new heel in the building, and that is Jax. So we'll see what fights we get into tonight.
I want to give a shout out to everyone that follows us on Twitter while we live tweet the show. Jax said, literally, if I get punted in the head, he's going to be fine with it. I don't understand. So give it up for this guy who totally hates my guts. Give it up for Jack Farmer, everybody.
Hey, I don't know how you can blame me for that. Did you see what happened to someone who stood up to Randy Orton tonight? I'm not getting anywhere near that, and you shouldn't either, Flobo.
See, it's one thing if I said, hey, Jack, you help me out, and you're like, no. You went unprovoked and said, I am not helping you at all. That's why I don't like you.
I just don't want any hurt feelings down the road. When it inevitably happens, you
don't worry. I got your back, Lobito. I got you. The security team will come and rescue you, like they rescue every wrestler when they come out. I got your back.
I will dispatch somebody else. But shout out to everyone in the chat right now. Haywood Wong, Boza, Dylan, all you guys will be listening and reading your comments. So if you guys are big fans of the show, you'll know that we were off the air for the past 2 weeks as AfterBuzz TV and its affiliate network stands tall and with the Black Lives Matter movement, which has swept the nation, if not the world. Many people taking this time to say about their stories and their experiences on both sides of the issue, which is okay. We love content, we love discussion, we love discourse. If you want to know more about what AfterBuzz is doing, make sure you check out to AfterBuzzTV.com for more written and video content. But it's just a little quick note here. Did anyone here want to share what they've been going through the past week or so, how this is happening, how it's affecting them?
Well, honestly, it's been a little overwhelming for me to kind of see all these changes happen at once. I appreciate the fact that we have this platform where wrestling brings us together. Wrestling is where we can be united. So I just really appreciate that we have the ability to be here. We're all different, including us three of us. And I just love the fact that wrestling has brought us together to, you know, just talk about something we love. And I appreciate you guys who are still here with us. And, you know, I'm all here for the Black Lives Matter movement. And let's continue this movement because we can't just have it trending for a couple of weeks. We have to keep going in order for changes to actually be made.
I totally agree.
Yeah, it's definitely been something that has brought up a lot of attention to something that I think has needed attention for a long time. And, you know, Flobo, you and I actually had a really good chat about it a few weeks ago on Jack and Flobo Wrestling with Your Questions. I would recommend everyone who's watching this to check that out, where we go into it a little bit more in depth than we have time to today. But it's good that attention's being brought to it for sure.
Yeah, and again, if you guys want to know more about what the networks and their affiliate networks of AfterBuzz, talk about Black Hollywood Live, AfterBuzz TV Latino, check out AfterBuzzTV.com. Now, let's talk about this event that was yesterday, because it was told to me on social media and on TV that this pay-per-view is going to have the greatest wrestling match ever. And I am a wrestling purist. I even have a t-shirt to that effect. Leslie Colon, did it deliver?
You know, there was moments where I was like, oh my God. And there's moments that I kind of had to stay back a little bit and just kind of analyze everything that was going on. I think it was just so overwhelming. But for me, yes, I love the wrestling match, but I can't get over the WrestleMania match. It was just insane to a whole other level. I think because there was more things that were used. You know, we had chairs and they were destroying each other on a whole other level. I appreciate it. I thought it was great. But if you're going to compare both of them, I have to go with the WrestleMania match.
Sure. Jack, I know you were telling me, man, this is way better than anything you've ever seen. You were like, this is the best thing ever. What's up?
I thought it was a great match. I thought they did an amazing job. It's almost a shame that they credit it as the greatest wrestling match ever beforehand, because it made our expectations go out of whack. If they hadn't done that, I think we would all look at this and be like, wow, that was one of the best matches we've seen during this empty arena era. But because they say it's the greatest wrestling match ever, we're instantly saying, I don't know about that. It's like starting by saying, I'm going to tell you the greatest joke you've ever heard in your life. Then no matter what the joke is, it's always going to be a little bit of a letdown. But I thought they did a great job. The fact that they went as long as they did without it becoming repetitive and them continuing to tell a story throughout, I thought they did a great job. And I think they should be really proud of it.
Any highlights or lowlights about the pay-per-view you want to mention up top? Just curious. I know we were discussing the non-tag team title match before.
I thought the as far as a low light for a pay-per-view, for a big event, it was a little frustrating to have a women's title match that ends in a double count out and then a tag title match that never takes place in the first place. A lot of shenanigans impacted a lot of matches, which is a little frustrating for a big show like this, but overall it was entertaining. I enjoyed myself watching it. I watched it this morning because I was busy last night, which, by the way, you can't avoid spoilers all the time. And one of the few spoilers I got was just the identity of the giant ninja from Backlash revealed. And that made me go, what happened to Backlash?
Yeah.
So that was a funny little tidbit from me.
For sure. Leslie, I know it's hard, at least for me, to say, I don't know, that pay-per-view was great, or it was, a lot of times it's like, I ingest it. It takes time for me to do it, but I know you're like quick on the draw. Thoughts about the pay-per-view, highlights, lowlights, anything like that?
Overall, better than Money in the Bank for me. Definitely. I felt like this one had, for me, better than Money in the Bank. I think because it had more. Yes, I agree with the whole women's tag match where they didn't really tag each other. But for me, it highlighted more of the wrestling aspect of it. I felt like the girls delivered in regards to that. You saw more movement inside the ring, which I really appreciated, especially coming from the Iconics, who I haven't seen actually wrestle for a long time in a while. So overall, love that match. I have to agree with Jack. Very disappointed in the women's in the match between Asuka and Nia Jax, because there was like, you don't end a match like that, especially if it's for the championship. I think that's one of the biggest frustrations, that as a fan, you're like, no, we need, especially for a wrestler who's like Asuka, who is credited to be one of the best, and you're kind of just gonna,
Asuka demands decisions. You just demand decisions.
No, but it didn't make sense to me. But to me, one of the matches that also was amazing, and I have to agree with the match tonight as well, was the Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. I felt like Bobby Lashley has really shown out these past couple of weeks, and in this match, I was like, dang, he's really beating up Drew McIntyre. So overall, good pay-per-view. I really liked it.
So let's talk about this. Bobby Lashley is holding on to one of the hottest storylines right now here on Raw. This is what's called now the first Raw of the Bruce Pritchard era. If you guys don't know, Bruce Pritchard now controls, or the head of the writing team of both Raw and SmackDown. We're not insiders, it's just things I've read on the official WWE Twitter. Don't say Flobo is spreading rumors and innuendo. But the Lashley storyline I really liked, because like Jack Farmer predicted, without an asterisk, it's really looking like MVP versus Lana. We got some more developments now, getting our truth into the fray. Jack Farmer, walk me through this. Bobby Lashley, is he still a threat? And two, how did they make our truth work in this match tonight?
So you just gave me a whole lot to unpack there. And
unpack it, baby.
If I can, I just want to start with like an overall thought of Raw, in that I over the past few weeks, I've been watching, and there's so much stuff I like, but for some reason, something doesn't click to me every week. And I couldn't figure it out. It was taking me so long, and I finally realized it. All the best characters on this show are villains. It's totally outweighing the good guys on this show. When you think of Bobby Lashley and everything Bobby Lashley's doing, and you look at MVP, and then you look at Seth Rollins, and even Zelina Vega's crew, they're all the coolest people. Who do they have to rival them? None of them are all that interesting. Kevin Owens is kind of stuck in the middle, and I don't want to walk all over the rest of the show, but even Drew McIntyre is kind of just in, I'm defending the title mode. All the best characters and all the best stories and all that stuff is happening with the villains right now. And so somewhere along the line, they need to readjust that, I think. But going to the main point of this, I wish Lashley had like maybe 1 or 2 more months to build up before getting this world title push, because he feels like he's almost there. He's almost believable as a guy who can take on the Scottish psychopath and really make it believable. I don't know how he'll fare after this, but he's doing great. I'm loving what's going on with MVP and Lana, and I cannot wait to see what revenge Lana brings to MVP and Lashley for how they did her dirty tonight.
Whew. Before I yell at Jack, Leslie, what do you think about this? Bobby Lashley, is he ready for a good time?
Give it a couple more weeks, maybe another month, but I'm just loving this whole going after Lana, all the name calling. I thought it was hilarious because, a couple months ago, I was so over the whole storyline between him, her actual real husband, Rusev, and then Bobby Lashley. So I just thought it was hilarious how the tables have turned, and I'm just cracking up throughout this whole thing. Like, this was hilarious. I'm loving it. It was funny.
I have said from the beginning that this is something, this story, this whole thing they built a foundation here, you guys. They spent all summer last year building a foundation, building us to get ready for this moment with MVP coming back and Lana there. We've got intrigue, we've got romance, we've got all this stuff going on. It's like Game of Thrones going on here with all the political background noise and things that are happening. It's crazy. This is exactly what we want from pro wrestling. It's the best thing going as far as storylines go.
Don't, guys in the chat, let Jack know how wrong he is, because no one sat down Rusev and said, hey, look, a year from now you're going to be fired and your wife is going to be Bobby Lashley. Come on, Jack. Look, I like Bobby for the first time in his career. I mean, he's like, 43 now, and he looks like $1 million. Not to say that you can't do it at a certain age or whatever, but usually for athletics, you kind of are in decline. Bobby Lashley has not been declined, but that's been his problem. He's been pretty much even his entire career. But with MVP, this guy is a credible threat. Now, to your point, Jack, which is kind of sad to say, I don't want to admit this, because I know you guys will clip it out and hold it against me and tag me on it forever. I know the kind of person you are, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of feeling sad for Lana, man. I feel like her man is just leaving her for another dude. Well, that sounds wrong. I mean, her man is focusing on his career with his manager. No, don't clip that out. Don't clip it out. She's kind of like left out there going, where's my Bobby going?
I don't feel bad at all. No, because I feel like she did Rusev dirty. We had this conversation outside in the studio. I asked you guys, if you guys were Rusev, would you allow your wife to go through this storyline and you would be completely okay with it?
I said
you said no.
Yes.
But I'm also incredibly single, so I don't know if I
Okay. You said
if we're talking about this from like letting your wife go through this from a storyline perspective, first off, he doesn't have to let her do anything. She's her own person. And second, if we're talking about this as a storyline, then it's no different than if your significant other is in a movie playing a role, right? Like if we're talking about a storyline.
Okay, turn it. But that's not where the point. That is not the point. So you would enjoy her making out with another guy and just showing off to the whole world and being happy because she was trending on YouTube. Yeah. Okay.
Look, this is the best thing she's been doing. This is the best thing Bobby Lashley's been doing. This is the best thing MVP's been doing. Everyone's a winner here. And now Rusev is one of the hottest free agents in all of pro wrestling. Fired. Everyone's happy.
Well, who was also happy is Drew McIntyre, who somehow defended his title in a tag team match player against that team of MVP and Lashley. There's no doubt in my mind that Drew is going to retain. But the question I have now is this: do you put Bobby one more time with Drew, or is it kind of the saying this chapter is pretty much closed?
I think they're going to do another round for Extreme Rules before going on to the bigger threat at SummerSlam. But it feels like they got one more round with them.
Okay, I'm here for it. I'm game for that. Although historically, Bobby Lash has always been a character who's never made a decision for himself. hung out with Leo Rush, told Lana what to do, listen to MVP. I'm just saying, not really compelling. But to your point, Jack, yes, there are heels and heels run Monday nights. So props to that. Let's talk about MVP, though. He's hitting up Apollo Cruz backstage, and he's like, roll with me. And Apollo's like, no, I'm a good guy. But in his match against Shelton Benjamin, homeboy uses the ropes. Jack, is this going to be a heel turn for Apollo Cruz, or is it win by any means necessary?
I think this is exactly what Apollo Cruz needs. This is how you build character depth. This is how you build that character depth. He's not just this grinning, like, I'm going to take on all challengers kind of guy. He's going to do what it takes to win. He's also going to have that little conversation with the little angel and the little MVP on his shoulder. Like, what should I do? What's the right way to handle this? It makes him more interesting. It's never interesting, the guy who says, I have no character, but I'm just going to come out here and wrestle. That never is interesting for very long.
But your favorite wrestler of all time is Lance Storm. That's what he does.
Lance Storm Lance Storm, he taught good morals. Lance Storm taught us to be the very best we can be. Lance Storm taught a generation of people how to be better.
What morals did Lance Storm teach?
My gosh.
Oh my God. Sorry about that. Sorry I cut you off, Jack. But go ahead. You were saying to the point of that this is best for Apollo, cheating to win.
It just makes him interesting. If I could be serious for a minute, I think that it makes this guy who has no character have a character. Now I'm interested. Is he going to keep cheating? Is he going to not keep cheating? Is he going to side with MVP? Is he not going to side with MVP? These are the things that we're supposed to be asking watching him. If it's just, oh, I wonder if he's going to win tonight, that's not interesting. But I am interested. Is he going to put his feet on the ropes? Is he going to cheat again? Is he going to keep maybe teasing the dark side of everything? I don't know. That's what's interesting. That's what makes him an interesting character. That's what adds that depth that he really, really needs.
Leslie's not having it. Leslie's like, oh.
I mean, I honestly thought like his new character was going to be really the hero and offer all these other guys who are kind of mid-cards that we don't really see. Like, who expected Shelton Benjamin to come out? I was like, oh my gosh, he's really going to give these guys who need more, like, these matches to kind of build them up. And then he cheated. And then I was like, okay, now I am interested to see what's next. I do have to agree with Jack with that. Like, yes, now you want to know where is it going to go from here? Is it going to be a heel now? Or is it going to be one of those face, like a face where he's like, yes, I'm good, but I'm still going to cheat here and there. I don't know. It's a little confusing. I think we have to see more to really declare whether he's going to be bad or whether he's going to be good. But hey, I'm all for it. I love Apollo. I'm just glad he got new music and he's like rocking that title and everything's going good for him. So let things be.
I like him too. And his music, I can't tell if it's dope. Like it plays really low. It's like, I think that's the hotness. His last one was live. You got it. But I'm not sure if this one's good yet. Jury's still out. But props to Apollo. Hopefully, like you say, is a lot more compelling. But talk about someone who is not straddling the fence of being face or heel. Randy Orton. Good old Randall. Third generation. So advanced in his career. About 3 or 4 years ago, we wrote him off as somebody who just doesn't care. Told the whole world how to cut a promo and how to be an absolute villain in a world where everyone thinks cool heels are cool. Leslie, Randy Orton, what's up with him? Is he just that evil?
Yes, he makes me get goosebumps. I freak out. I'm like, especially after the matches where he's like, go home, go to your family. Like, it's adding him being healed to a whole other level. You're a bad guy, but now you're like a crazy bad guy where you're really crazy in your head. So I mean, it's entertaining. I'm loving it, but I think Randy Orton's to a whole other level now where like, can you even get better than this? Because he's just been, I mean, last night, tonight, it was just all good. But I'm just confused. Like, why is there so many like random people coming into Raw tonight? I mean, we got the Big Show, we got Ric Flair, and then especially in this whole little storyline, I was confused, but I mean, Randy Orton's killing it. He's just going to gain even more credibility after this.
So let me ask you this, Les, as a follow-up. We got Christian, right? The best friend of Edge, avenging his homeboy, and he got duped, rope-a-dope, flim-flam, shenanigans, Donnybrook into an unsanctioned match, and he got kicked in the head. Now, I know how I feel about Christian. You guys follow me on social media. But what thoughts about that match and that storyline that featured Ric Flair, the dirtiest player in the game?
I'm like, it's because I was so confused. Like, I don't know what to say because I was confused on why he was even included. For me, when you start off Raw like that and you expect this great match, I was honestly watching with my brother and I was like, there's 15 minutes left. What's going to happen? Are they going to come out? Now there's 5 minutes. How is this match going to go? Because I really thought this was going to be a big match. I thought it was going to be something like last night where, Edge came out of nowhere and he delivered such good matches. So it seemed like it was going to be something similar. It makes sense that Christian comes out because that's his best friend. You see that history, But then to include Ric Flair, it's kind of like to have a great story and then to just ruin it with something that doesn't make sense. I think everyone's honestly just confused on why they included him. I honestly don't even have an answer.
Now that you mention it, does seem like a cavalcade of like the legends or whatever, because Ric Flair totally was being himself, I guess. Jack, Christian, right? Here's somebody who I'm a big fan of. I feel like he should be in the Hall of Fame solo. Gets talked to by the Big Show, who's just hanging around. I guess he's in between seasons and saying, go for it. I really thought this was going to be a proxy match, but it looks like Christian took Big Show's advice and got kicked in the head for it. So talk about your opinion about that, about someone like Christian, someone who hasn't wrestled and on TV and so long, using this to fuel this Randy Orton Edge feud, knowing full well we don't know if Edge is coming back at all.
Well, it really puts into perspective. We always compare Edge and Christian together, but it puts into perspective when Edge comes back. It's a huge moment at Royal Rumble. Then there's a big build-up to a WrestleMania match. And then there's another big build-up to the greatest match ever for his return. When Christian comes back, it's an impromptu fight at the end of an episode of Raw. I think that says a lot when how WWE views both of them. But look, at the end of the day, man, we're burying the lead here. Randy Orton is the greatest going right now. This guy, since his feud with Kofi Kingston back on SmackDown, has been absolutely lights out in every single thing he's done. And the only reason I say Bobby Lashley isn't ready for that world title shot just yet is because there is no reason I can think of that Randy Orton shouldn't be getting a world title shot right now. He has had amazing feuds. He has had amazing promos. He has had the greatest match ever. This guy is just on fire. I know some people have said that he's checked out and he's collecting paychecks, but man, everything he's done, I can't think of a single thing he's done in the past year that I was like, that was lazy, that was lame, that sucked. Everything has been show-stealing amazing, and he should be presented as the top guy in the company right now in every way, shape, and form.
I want to agree with you, but you hit Christian too hard, so I don't want to agree with you for everything. Randy Orton's the top of his game, which is, it's so funny to say that because we almost wrote him off a couple years ago. But even that match in Saudi Arabia, which I think was a Super Showdown, or was that a Crown Jewel? I think that was a Crown Jewel. With Triple H. I mean, that had no build, and that was still hot dang. But let's talk about champions, right? Talking about Randy Orton, he's a champion. What about Asuka? Asuka vowed to finish what she started in a promo that gave me goosebumps. I'm not a goosebump kind of guy. And a match that 24 hours prior was a double countout, got a very decisive win over Nia Jax. We all know on the internet that most internet fans aren't the biggest fans of Nia Jax for whatever reason. But is she pretty much done? Because she's been like slipping on the proverbial banana peel ever since her return. Leslie, thoughts about the match and Nia Jax?
First of all, you're gonna finish something and they're gonna end it like that again. Why are you gonna have a championship match if it's gonna end on some weird note? Why? Like, it was just okay. First of all, we all know the referee was gonna call for the belt, but then you're gonna go back and count. Like, it just confused us even more. I don't know about you guys, but I was like, I would have just called for the belt. Even now, they're gonna go, oh, it wasn't a 3 count, so we have to do another rematch. What for? If I honestly don't feel like Nia Jax is as big as a threat like Charlotte can be to Asuka. I don't mind seeing another match of theirs because I really want to see Asuka beat Charlotte. But yeah, Nia Jax doesn't have, I don't know what she's missing, honestly. They present her as, she's different, she's tough, she can really go through the whole division, but that's not really what she's demonstrated. So I think that's why a lot of people don't like her. And because of her history, and this is what I read a lot on Twitter and stuff, and a lot of the guys who are on Twitter are talking to us, it's because of her history with injuring other wrestlers. So it makes sense why people don't really like her. And I feel like when she says promos, like they're true, it's really what she thinks. I don't think they're promos. So I don't know. I'm honestly not a big fan. And I don't know. It just wasn't much for me.
Wow.
I think what they're getting to, if I can jump in here, is
No,
they have a match at Backlash and it stops because they are counted out outside of the ring.
Correct.
They try to have a match tonight and it doesn't really end the way it's supposed to because the referee sort of gets involved because he gets hit. This is clearly going to an Extreme Rules match where there's no rules and they must have a winner of some kind here. That's what they're building to.
Sure.
Now, why they're being kind of weird about it, I don't know. Like, I don't think Nia Jax is done, because if they were going to just end her, they would have her looking bad in matches. They'd have her just getting pinned and beaten outright. They're protecting her a bit in that regard. So they are going on to, I think, a match at Extreme Rules where there's no rules and they don't have to worry about being counted out or the ref getting mad or any of these things. But I want Asuka to keep the title for a long time because I am a huge fan of Asuka. So there we go.
So moving away from Nia Jax for a second, we'll talk about Asuka, right? They ran the promo how Asuka is now the Raw Women's Champion. There's been rumors and rumblings, I'm not saying Nia Jax or anyone else, that Asuka may be a transitional champion. Would that be the right move for Raw right now as they rebuild the division, or would you have her keep her there as for a long reign? Like, what would be better for Raw at this point?
I think keep her as a champion. Okay. Why not?
I think one of the issues with keeping her as a champion for too long is they just got done having Becky be a year-long champion, and I think it could get stale pretty quickly. I love Asuka and want her to keep the title. I certainly don't want Nia Jax to be the champion. I'm not a big Nia Jax fan, but I wouldn't say transitional. But if I'm just looking at the big picture, I would say maybe a 2 or 3 month champion, not another year-long reign. Because otherwise, it's like, okay, we have another person that's just rolling over everyone. Though I guess it could be fun to see her keep the title until maybe next WrestleMania when Becky Lynch returns, and then you have the person who never lost it against the person who took it afterwards, going at it. But
the chat is actually leading my next question. Shayna Baszler, where you at?
Yeah, I saw that. Everyone's talking about Shayna Baszler. I want to know that too. I definitely would think she would really build up a really good opponent for Asuka and take it away like the right way. I don't know. It just makes sense for her to be next in line, and I feel like she would be more of a threat, and we really want to see kind of Shayna rebuild herself after I don't feel like she was introduced well. I felt like in NXT she was doing so great, and then when she came to the main roster, she kind of got like brushed off. So I really want her to come back and really show her skills, and she has good wrestling skills. She had good mic skills, so why not? I think she's next to be champion.
I think that actually works really great too. If you have Asuka defend against Nia Jax one more time, and then you have Shayna Baszler as the next challenger, and maybe at SummerSlam wins the title, then Asuka doesn't look so much as a transitional champion, but also you get the title on Shayna Baszler, and of course she can then hold the title until Becky Lynch comes back. I think that works great.
Man, we should be bookers, y'all.
It's so easy, right?
Yeah, it's easy, dude. There's no one gets injured. It's great. Right. Yeah. So, talking about people that may be reintroduced, the Iconics have been on a tear since returning to Monday Night Raw, challenging what I'm not even sure what they call themselves. Are they the role models? Are they the Boston Thug Connection? Are they the Blueprint and the Rome? I don't know, but who cares? Because Bayley's involved, and she makes an appearance on her birthday to say, listen, we're the hardest working champs. We're here tonight. We got a title match on Wednesday, and we beat those clowns. We're going to beat you on Monday because Sasha's my friend and she can do it. Challenge accepted. Jack Farmer, I want to ask you this, because I know on the NXT show before AEW Dynamite, you were on the NXT show. Before that, we would talk about why hasn't the Raw Women's Tag Team Championships, the Tag Team Championships go to NXT, or at least have more matches at NXT. This may be the perfect time. I thought going into this that Shotzi Blackheart taken not to bring it home, but the Iconics are waiting. A revised Iconics are waiting. How would you weigh this next week and a half, the women's tag division?
So it's great that they're putting teams together. It's great that they're building this division. I think there's a lot of mileage to it. Something I wanted to talk about is Bayley. And I've not been the biggest supporter of Bayley over the years.
Well, you haven't.
I'm not against her, but I haven't been she hasn't been my shining star. But if I'm honest, the past 2 nights, seeing her, she has shone brighter than all the other stars around her. And seeing her in the match at Backlash and seeing her today, she does stand out head and shoulders above everyone else. She's a big star. I missed it. I was behind the curve. I'm willing to admit it, you guys.
Wow.
It took me too long, but
Wow.
today I saw on her birthday that she is so much more than I've given her credit for. I don't know why it took this long, but you guys, I think I might be a Bailey buddy.
Oh,
Hold
happy
on.
birthday, Flobito. That was
I know, right? Happy birthday to me. Woo! Before I ask you, Leslie, I want to say this. This has been a monumental moment. Clip this, like, comment, subscribe, give us 5 stars on iTunes, and say, OMG, Jack came to the bright side. That is Bailey, the role model, the most decorated female superstar of all time. Leslie, thoughts about this? The
Bravo.
Thank you. Next week and a half, man. They're going to be the hardest working champs right now. Do you think they hold on after NXT and the Iconics waiting? Would you want to see that match with Bailey and Sasha?
Yes and yes. I definitely think they hold on to the titles. It's going to be a great opportunity. I already know it's going to be a great match, but I definitely want to see them move on with the Iconics. I'm sorry, Dylan, but I just love Bailey and I love Sasha, so I have to keep their titles with them, especially because I feel like they have to redeem themselves, because after WrestleMania, and there was a shot thrown with that promo saying, you guys couldn't hold it together. You guys left and the titles were straight given to us. So I think they have to redeem themselves. They have to prove it, even though they don't have to prove anything because they've always done everything right. And I just love Bailey and Sasha. If I could, be a wrestler, I would want to be a combination of Sasha Banks and Bailey put together.
Wait, in what way? Like personality?
Okay.
Or ring gear? Like what?
I think before, like, the Bailey hugger, it was a little bit more me. That's why I really got with her, and I was like, yeah, like, that's me. I love everyone. I love to hug everyone. But then I'm also Sasha, where it's like, don't mess with me because I'm also gonna fight you too. So, somewhere in between.
You're like a Venus flytrap. You're like, come on here. God.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go.
Wow, I'm afraid. I'm kidding, but I actually agree.
Cute on the outside, but then fierce on the inside. See?
I will nod whatever you want me to say. Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, now I'm terrified. Do I want to agree with you? It might be luring me in.
I know.
Yes, of course.
I see the cheese on that mouse trap. I'm not.
If I can be serious for a moment. The Iconics are featured. They have a tag team match next Monday, but they had a match tonight against Natalya and Liv Morgan. When this match was on air, I was texting my man, Jack. I said, Jack, hey, what's up? Liv Morgan, what's going on with her? We know Natalya is pretty much reserved to be in that spot. I'm sorry to say she's a fantastic wrestler, but she's in that spot where she wins enough to make herself credible to lose again. That's the way it is. They call it jobber to the stars, which is an unfortunate term, but it's true. But Liv Morgan came in with a bunch of heat. Former host here at AfterBuzz said, hey, look, she's my girl. She's going to be the next big thing, but I'm just not seeing it, Jack. What's up?
This feels like a very bungled re-debut in the sense that she had this I'm in the bathtub kind of promo, and then she had this I'm dating Lana thing, and then she had this I'm still trying to find myself, and they're being very vague on what exactly she's supposed to be and what exactly she's supposed to do. And it seems like she doesn't know. And if she doesn't know, how am I supposed to know what to expect from her? And so it's really hard to get behind her. I mean, when you look on social media, people seem to love her. So she seems to have a support, but I got to know what your thing is after a while. You get a few weeks where, like, okay, let's wait and see, but it's been months now and we still don't know. I think the interesting thing, and I don't want to step on your toes, Flobo, but I am so excited to see just what Lana and Natty have in store for each other and their little coming together. That I am so excited to see where that goes. And I'm very interested to see if they actually bring up the fact that Liv and Lana have a background ever again as well.
True, because I think even Lashley had alluded, like, hey, when's the last time you put a pair of boots? Like that's like the reason why I should be mad at you.
Dude, that was hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I had to go think about it. Like, what was the last time I saw Lana on TV?
Was it Royal Rumble?
I guess so.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know what, man? Lashley? Maybe if you paid attention to your wife, she wouldn't be mad at you.
Oh my gosh. You might as well marry Lana yourself.
I could only be so lucky.
What makes this incredibly awkward? Let's sit here in silence as Jack has to walk that back. No, I'm kidding. So we have your thoughts about that with Liv Morgan, because I know, Leslie, we went back and forth with the women's division and how Raw's building, but Liv felt like she could have been the cornerstone, and Ruby Riott.
Yeah, it's
catering.
disappointing.
What's up?
I don't know. It's honestly so disappointing because I know you guys don't watch, and I know that you guys don't care, but I watched her on Total Divas, and she has such a personality that if she were to put that in a character, we would really, that's why people got behind her from watching her, those who do watch. So I just know she has so much. She has such a kind heart. She has a personality. So you're right. It's confusing where you're like, okay, you know, she's in a bathtub and I don't know what kind of character they're going to come up with her. And then she comes and then she has these like weekly promos where she talks about her mom one day. And then she says she's still trying to find herself another day. So it's confusing. Like, I don't know. It feels like when you're a teenager and you're going through puberty and like you like one thing one day and then you like another thing another day. It's just weird. I don't know.
That's a very long time ago for somebody like myself.
But
I was always like this throughout all my life. So
you came out with the womb with product in your hair, dude. I just figured you're just slick. No, it's funny because you say you don't watch, you don't care. Like, hey, I care about the Bellas. I just don't watch the show. Like, I know how important it is. I know. So I'm glad you explained that because to Jack's point, there are Liv fans, and I always wondered what about if you're not on TV. I wonder what will be the appeal. But if you're on another show, that totally explains it. I don't know, man. I think this version of her is pretty much done. It may be a trade or it may be another repackage, but her coming out leather clad next to Nadia was like, yeah, and she took the pin too. So it was like, I wonder what goes from there. So,
took it clean too.
Yeah, as a whistle.
Joseph said something and it's super interesting. He said, I think Liv was a project of Heyman, and with him being canned caused ratings that have been, bad. So maybe that's true.
I love Joseph Bose in the chat, but I always have to like approve his comments because he has a potty mouth. It's always like, I guess it's true.
I'm like,
as a potty mouth one just came through.
Yeah, dang it! Making my job that much harder.
You know what? Can I speak to that? I can't. A lot of people want to like act like so much was like Heyman was doing this, but now it's not going to happen. She had this issue before Heyman left, and I don't think anything's going to change on Raw with Heyman being gone and Pritchard being in. I don't think there's any difference that's going to happen. I think it's all going to be exactly the same because I think the same process is happening backstage. I don't think it was all Heyman doing everything before anyways. I think it's going to go through the same processes. So I think I don't think any major character or storyline changes are going to happen. And I don't think anything's going to change in that regard.
Yeah,
I think it's too soon.
It is definitely too soon. It does seem the process this is why writing for wrestling is so hard. Besides the fact you're writing for, it looks like 14 segments a show on Raw. And you're basically writing what you think is the best idea and then having your Lorne Michaels, or in this case, Evan McMahon saying, hey, look, this variety show script doesn't work. So you have to constantly fill time. And that's why I think people always kick back and say, oh, the promos aren't as good as they used to be, brother. You can go out there and be yourself, turned all the way up. But frankly, the times are so strict to the minute. You can't tell someone, I need to go out there for 94 seconds. It's almost impossible. We're human beings. And two, when you're writing such a tight schedule, you might get one draft or two drafts or three drafts. You're not saying, hey, Rocky, do a promo and we'll do the show around you. It's not that kind of operation anymore. But to your point, I also agree with you. If it's good, everyone gets credit. If it's bad, Vinnie Mac gets the blame.
If you want to talk about people getting to rip and do their own promos, I always tell people, go check out the Ultimate Warrior debut in WCW and ask yourself if it's still a good idea to let people make up their own promos.
You could pick any Warrior promo. The skeletons in the closet.
Well, that one went 40 minutes, so that's the...
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry if I ever doubted you.
Yeah, check it out. It's not a good watch, but it's an interesting
clip.
It's interesting. Yeah. Speaking of things that I doubt, Zelina Vega's team, Andrade Angel Garza, could not get it together in a match against KO Kevin Owens. Angel Garza was on the short end of the stick, but then there was a little bit of a discussion afterwards. Leslie, let me ask you this. Is this union still valid, or are we willing to see them go in different directions?
Ooh, it's hard because I really like this feud. I think they're both, them going against each other, it's really making me question, if they have a match, and like my question is, if they have a match and the winner, that's who Selena has to manage. I'm like, who would I want to win? I'm really liking this Angel character because it's clicked. He's got it from the beginning. I don't feel like we've had questioned him, just like we had questioned Humberto Carrillo for a while.
I'm questioning Angel's fashion choices, but that's just me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either. But I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but Angel Garza has a lot of personality that Andrade hasn't shown. I feel like Selena has done that work for him. That's why she helped him so much. But Angel Garza can be a star by himself. So I don't know. I really like this team. I like the fact that they look good as a team. She's leading them. They're, they have like that background where they're both from Mexico, and them going at each other. It's a good story, but I would rather them. See, I'm torn. I like them together, but then I don't like them together. I think I just have to wait and see where the story goes. But I wouldn't mind them having a one-on-one match.
It almost seemed like Kevin Owens was an afterthought, right?
Yeah.
Jack, thoughts about the match and the feud?
See, this is a weird rivalry. Again, we're not supposed to like either of these guys. Why would we want to like? You don't want to see either of them win. You want to see them both lose because we're supposed to hate them both, right? The person we're supposed to like is Kevin Owens, but he just seems like a sort of like a buffer at this person to get to that point, as opposed to having a reason for being there himself, which is kind of been Kevin Owens' problem lately. It seems like he's always just a buffer for people to get from point A to point B instead of having something of his own, which doesn't make sense because Kevin Owens is great. He should be a star too, but it's weird seeing these guys feud because, like I said, they're supposed to be villains. Like, I'm supposed to be cheering them both breaking apart at the seams, but I like them. It's a weird thing. The whole thing is weird. I like them both. I hope they just become a tag team and it works out and things are good because they need tag teams, and I like them both. I like them together. I like them with Zelina. I don't want anything to change. I'm a curmudgeon. I want it to stay.
I fear change.
I fear change.
I'm all about people having fight and teasing a fight and deciding where they're going to be, but it did seem kind of amateur hour having them like, guys, get it together. Like, why? I don't know. I feel like that to me hurts the mystique of those two, but I would much rather them win. So if they win separately, great. If they're going to lose as singles, then I don't want them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see them actually win, especially Angel Garza. He's so young, and they gave him the ball pretty early in his career, and he's done everything that's asked of him. It wasn't like they shot him to the moon. He couldn't handle it. Everything they gave him, he made sense. He went 30 minutes with Aleister Black a month ago, and so I want to see him do well.
I would say, I agree with you, Flobo, because I think maybe that's the reason why I'm having trouble latching onto this, because between Andrade and Garza and even Kevin Owens, they've got to combine like 3 wins over the past 4 months. Why do I care? Why are these guys? If this was the UFC, they would be nowhere near the TV screen. Why are they even here? They need to start winning and matter before we care about them breaking up in the first place. It's one of those things where, like, if they have a match, you're like, well, one of them's got to win. How's this going to end?
Right. That's a good promotion. This is a match ever on Sunday night. I guess you blew my mind earlier saying that the lack of faces really hurts the dynamic of Raw, because with guys like Kevin Owens and Aleister Black and even Humberto Carrillo, when they show up, it's like, okay. Even Aleister Black is a good character, but it's like, all right,
Yeah, what's Aleister Black's thing right now, though? It's like he's basically just bouncing off of Seth Rollins. It's not because Aleister Black is being an interesting character. It's because he's feuding with Seth Rollins. Yeah. If you take Seth Rollins out, what is Aleister Black right now?
I don't know. And he sicked his boy, Seth Rollins, and Rey Mysterio is the hero. Okay. Leslie, is that how people in San Diego get down?
Really?
I had no idea. I don't know what's going with it.
What did I say about cute on the outside but fierce on the inside?
You said you were a killer through and through.
That's what I heard. My city. Yes, people from San Diego, we are great. But yeah, it's a little confusing. Yeah, 619. Mm-hmm. Anyways, it's confusing, but I thought it was funny. First of all, I thought it was entertaining, and especially how they tweeted the text, and then how he was like, chinga hijo de tu madre, and it's like something so common that we say to each other. So I'm just like, okay, it's like me receiving a text from my mom saying, where have you gone? And why didn't you tell me? It's entertaining. Do I see a match? Not really. But hey, I love it. I don't really care. I just thought it was cool, the fact that Rey Mysterio's involved. And now Dominick's involved again. Hey, why not? We're laughing. You guys are watching. He's running around the arena. So who cares? We've seen worse, like Lana making out with Bobby Lashley in a hotel room.
That was pretty bad. But it kind of felt like Batman. Sick and Robin. It just felt weird to me.
I couldn't help but think how great it would have been if Dominic went to jump the guardrail and accidentally hit one of the glass windows instead.
Look who's jumping out the sky.
Can we just give Seth Rollins some more credit for just being so good at this Monday Night Messiah character and just rocking it? I mean, he was someone who had gotten stale, who had gotten boring, but he took this character and he evolved it and he got into it and he has embraced it, and it is great. He is nailing every one of his promos. This is another feud that Rey Mysterio hasn't even been here, and I want to see this match. And he's doing such a good job. He's so underrated. And as I said on Twitter, if you don't follow me, you should. He is proving every single week this is the kind of guy you should build a show around. Absolutely great work, and I can't wait to see their feud. I mean, or that match. Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins is going to be great when it happens. Probably SummerSlam, I hope, anyways. And let's give a shout out to Rey Mysterio. I love the little how he covers one eye now. I think that's a cool little fashion touch.
He's so fashionable. Okay, don't hate.
You know, he gets a headache after that, though. Could you imagine like wearing a sunglass over one eye for a long time? That's got to be difficult.
I don't hate Rey Mysterio at all, Leslie. Please don't hurt me.
Good, thank you. Yes.
The chat said Leslie will bite you. That's from Haywood Wong. He says she will bite you.
See, the chat even knows. Don't mess with my people. Don't mess with my people from San Diego, okay?
I didn't say it. I was asking an honest question.
Don't mess with my pueblo. Say it again, Jack.
Yes, please, Jack. Say it again.
Say it again.
Don't mess with Leslie's pueblo.
Thank you.
I'm just asking questions. It's a Raw show. I ask questions. You guys answer. Don't get mad at me. On tonight,
we're good.
They were thinking about, hey, what kind of crazy fun game would you come up with to settle our bet? And Big Show was like, a wrestling match. So we're going to get that. I don't know how to think about this. I mean, are they both now? Are we found a way to turn both of them face? Is that the whole idea? I don't know. So, Jack, I'm going to ask you this. Looking forward to the match. 3 Profits of Viking Raiders to settle it all. And 2, did you miss the games?
I did not miss the games. I have been very vocal about not liking the way they built up to Backlash. I thought it was silly. I think it has ruined the Viking Raiders as an intimidating team for me. Their match at Backlash, I thought it wasn't my favorite of the cinematic matches, and I usually like the silliness, but this one just felt weird to me. That said, for some reason, when they were like, it's us versus the ninjas, I was like, I'm here for that. I don't know why. I don't know what it was about.
I didn't want to mention the ninjas, but you have to go over the Dang it, Jack.
I don't know why. I was like, yeah, let's see this. I want to see him fight the ninjas. For some reason, that was really exciting to me. I don't know if it necessarily paid off, but for some reason, that part, I was like, yeah, I'm here for that. I'm here for some ninjas versus the Viking Prophets.
I was so close. The ninjas make no sense. Dude, I was writing the show notes, and I was like, I can't believe I'm writing this. The ninjas. And there's a big ninja. And Akira Tozawa was a ninja since when?
Dude, this is the most I've seen Akira Tozawa like talk. Yeah. And I don't even understand what he's saying. But I was just so into it. I was like, all right, cool.
I just got a feeling that he's like, and cut. Was that good, guys? Let me know, because I was a little.
And it's in like a British accent. When
I say that was an excellent thing. But it's actually time for us to get out of here. We covered a lot today in the Monday Night Raw After Show and AfterBuzz TV. We're so glad you're back in the chat, interacting with the show. And of course, we're always here for you. If you have any questions about what's going on, please reach out to your friends and family and us, the hosts. We're cool. We're on social media. We're hanging. We're chilling. Let's actually help out the best we can. AfterBuzz TV Wrestling and Sports. There's only one channel, one vertical, and a whole slew of AfterBuzz TV programming. Check out AfterBuzzTV.com for more information. Before we get out of here, Leslie Colon, la profesora, where can the world find you online?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Leslie Colon _. And also, if you haven't checked it out and you want to know a little bit more about my story, my personal story, check out the interview I did with Flobo on New Amsterdam Radio. It's so good. We had such a fun time. So make sure you check that out. And that way you can get to know a little bit more about me.
I was surprised. Like, what you putting over? Oh, my stuff. Yay! Jack.
Yeah, you can find me at jackcfarmer.com as well as at RealJackFarmer across all social media. You can also check me out on Wrestling with Your Questions, where I chat with Flobo about all sorts of different things every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Of course, you can also check me out on the AEW Dynamite After Show on AfterBuzz TV every single Wednesday at 8:15 Pacific Standard Time as well. And you know what? I listened to that Leslie interview and it was a dynamite episode. I definitely think you guys should check it out. You get to hear all sorts of fun stuff. So go over and check that out as well. It's a fun interview about both of my co-hosts.
Yeah, that was actually the highest rated show I've ever done on Amsterdam Radio.
Wow.
Well, yeah, it's true. I mean, your network rides hard for Leslie Colon. I'm just saying, they share everything. My name is Flobo Boyce. You can follow me on Twitter at Flobo Boyce, on Instagram at Flobito, and Flobito.com. My birthday is next Thursday. I wanted to celebrate with you. My brand new birthday shirt is available at Flobito, that's threadless.com. New Amsterdam Radio is my podcast where we talk to hopefully hosts and other creatives and anyone with an idea on their mind. That airs on Thursday. Jack and I get together on Wrestling with Your Questions, also on Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific on YouTube. We're all over the place. Please come out there. Please be a friend. Join the family. Subscribe, like, comment, share, and all that. But until next time, buzz you later.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.